Hey there, Randy Walker, WorldTennisMagazine.com, and behind me is the greatest college tennis facility in the world, the University of Georgia Tennis Complex, the Dan Magill Tennis Complex, Henry Field Stadium here in Athens, Georgia. Really spectacular view from here from the top of the parking deck. Getting ready for a big match versus Ole Miss today, honoring Manny Diaz, the great career that he had as the Georgia men's tennis coach, and also honoring the 1985 national championship Georgia Bulldog team led by Michael Pernfors, the 1986 French Open singles finalists. But yeah, just a little history about the facility here. You know, there was not that stadium there until, I believe, 1977, when the University of Georgia, led by legendary coach Dan Magill, hosted the NCAA tennis championships for the second time. The first time was in 1972, when it was just a grassy knoll back there, and the crowds were huge. And the NCAA was just so impressed with the promotion job by Coach McGill and University of Georgia that they're like, hey, we got to have the NCAAs back here another time, and for many years to come. So in 1977, that stadium was built. It was named for Henry Field, who was a standout Georgia tennis player who had tragically passed away. So 1977, those bleachers were created, and the rest is college tennis history. Georgia hosted the NCAAs every year after that, from 1977 until 1990, and then pretty much every year or every other year, with a few exceptions, until recently. Unfortunately, not the home of the NCAAs on a semi-regular basis anymore. But it is coming back for a few years. But this place is just magical, and every person that's played a college tennis match here has talked about what a special atmosphere it is. I mean, there was some controversy, obviously, with Georgia having the home field advantage for the matches. And but there's also a lot of pressure on the Georgia players to actually play in front of their their fans and family and so forth. So there was added pressure there too. But most players that played the NCAAs here against Georgia in front of this raucous crowd, literally, all the way to the top rafters there. They always said if they could play in any atmosphere in college tennis, that would be the one that they would play in. They would rather play in an electric atmosphere than just a boring atmosphere with not too many fans. So. Actually the bleachers were renewed a few years ago. It was all taken down and modernized a bit. 6 courts, 3 here and then 3 here, and then the brand new, spanking new indoor facility there was six courts. It used to be only 4 courts, which was an issue for years, but University of Georgia Athletics Association funded the new indoor center, and now it has 6 courts. But this is such an amazing facility, and it is the home of the Georgia men's and women's tennis teams, and they have dual matches here and so forth. There's going to be NCAAs I think for 2 years over the next couple of years. Then it's going to be at Lake Nona at the USDA National Campus for 10 years, which is a little tragic, I think, just to not have it here for a decade. But that's what it is. Coach McGill called Henry Field Stadium and the University of Georgia Tennis Complex the Mecca of college tennis, and Mecca is the spiritual home of the Muslim faith, and every Muslim around the world has to go to Mecca at least one time in their lives. And, that's kind of what it should be. This should be for college tennis, is that every college tennis player should have the opportunity to play the NCAA tennis championships at least one time here in Athens, Georgia. And, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case for many years. Sure, Lake Nona is a great, facility, and it's convenient to get to, and it's USA National Campus and so forth. But this place is magical, and, we really need to get some more NCAA tennis here, and even some other events here. Consider it for a Davis Cup or a Challenger. Or I know Jamie Hunt and Drake Bernstein, the men's and women's coaches for University of Georgia, have a UTR PTT tournament coming up this fall. But this place is really special. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I went to the University of Georgia and was involved with the men's tennis program, so I'm super biased. But I saw it for myself, and most people saw it for themselves. And anybody that's seen any kind of tennis being played in the courts behind me will certainly agree that this place is magical, and there needs to be more NCAA tennis here, more big-time tennis here. And if you have an opportunity to go to a dual match here at the University of Georgia, it really is a special thing. It's oozing with history. I mean, all the great players who have won NCAA titles and played college tennis here. John McEnroe won the NCAAs there in 1978. Bob Bryant, Alex O'Brien, Tim Mayotte, Robert Van't Hoff, Chris Woodruff, Michael Pernfors won 2 NCAA single titles here for Georgia in 1984 and 85, and that center court there is named after Michael Pernfors, the Michael Pernfors Center Court. So really magical place, and you should really visit it. So Randy Walker from Athens, Georgia, Dan Magill Tennis Complex, Henry Field Stadium, Athens, Georgia. Over now.